Guys, what's going on? Thought I'd go through the top two Tim Bohen money bar indicator trades for the day. So, unfortunately, today wasn't like yesterday where we saw this huge 500% winner on GPUS. That was amazing. 500%. I doubt anybody would have caught that, especially since it started trading so early pre market. But it's continued all the way up till noon, which was really, really nice. And some people are only awake for the market open, so they can't take advantage of the very early moves. And only some brokers allow you to actually take advantage of the really early moves on these low float small cap stocks. So G plus 500% trade, but still we got a couple of good trades today. So let me show you. Well, first of all, let me show you the review. So I'll leave a link in the description to this full review of the money bar indicator. I've got tons of videos in here. I've got his webinar. You can purchase it for $49 lifetime. It's worth it for sure. And especially if you pair it up with your own indicators or trading strategy. I use Infinity Algo to confirm entries, and that has worked really well for me. Infinity Algo, I'll leave a link in the description below for my review on that, and also you can get it for $99 lifetime, so pretty cheap. Some of these tools are really quite good and quite cheap, my bar being one of them, and Infinity Algo being the other one. So come check, link in the description, and then let's get started on today's trade. So the top two trades today on the money bar, which is what you're looking at right here. You can ignore these top two. They have a float of 12, so go over here. So I just ignore them. I don't know what they are. I don't know why they appear there. They're weird. So really, the watch list starts here, and you can see the top two was ARAB and KTTA. ARAB was 345 times its float rotation by the end of the day, and KTTA was only 85 times. Still pretty impressive. So look at the floats though, 86,000 for ARAB, so tiny little float, and then 2.6 million, which is still really small for KTTA. But that's what this list is all about. That's what this tool, this money bar indicator scanner, is really. That's what it's all about. Is finding low float stocks that are ready to go. And one of the techniques that I know a lot of people are buying this because they've been asked so many questions about it. One of the techniques I do is I look for money bars that are moving quickly. So everything's kind of stagnant now because it's after hours, but you'll often see them moving quite fast. And that's how I spotted, I think, Arab this morning. Was starting to fill up fast, so they'll fill up to here and then they'll reset and they'll fill again and rotate through their float again. And you'll start to see them moving quicker. And then they'll often move up the list as well, and then you can make your decision of the top two or three that you want to watch. So my decision was to look at Arab and KTTA and take a trade on those. So let's look at the charts for those. The first one is probably the most interesting one. Took a trade on this one, and this was interesting because for a couple of reasons. So this is the 1 minute chart on Arab. And so you can see my Infinity Algo, which again is linked in the description below. It's really accurate for these small caps. It's surprisingly accurate for them, to be honest. I didn't think it would be, but it is. And so it had a smart buy right at this big green candle. And at the same time, I started to see the float rotate fast on here. It started to rotate through quickly, started to really like take off on the money bar indicator. So when you have a big buy on the candle here, the advanced rotation calculator or money bar indicator starts to power up. Something's probably going to happen. It might only be a 20% gain or it might be a 500% gain. You never know. Anyway, what happened was basically it went up. You can see it kind of consolidated, so I actually waited. So I'm a bit suspicious of this stock because I looked back at its history and it has a history of being kind of a pump and dump. So I was worried that this move from 289 to this wick all the way up to 364 would just immediately sell off and die. There's a history of it, so that's one thing I check for is there a history of it just immediately selling off? Because if there is, and it's done the same thing over and over again, then I tend to avoid it. But what I did on this one actually was just did a simple bull flag. So we had the stars aligned, we had the money bar indicator firing off, fueling up. We had the smart buy already in action on the indicator, the Infinity Algo. And then we had a bull flag forming here as well. It's kind of rough bull flag. But as soon as it broke this trend line here, I jumped in and rode it up here for about, I think, 20% roughly. Yeah, so I actually moved a total of 30%, but I rode it up and got most of the gains by about 20%. Now, you could argue that, well, how do you know it's not going to continue to like 500% like this one from yesterday? Well, you can't, and you're never going to capture all the moves, right? And that's something that Tim Sykes' Supernova course has really helped teach me is to take pieces of the pie. So I'll link to Tim Sykes' Supernova training course. It's like $7. Really good. It helps you, and he works with Tim Bohen on this stuff. It helps you not get too greedy on stuff and take profits quicker and get pieces of the pie. So this is a beautiful combination of Infinity Algo, money bar indicator firing off, and then a bull flag breakout as well, which was really nice. So really, really nice for those reasons. 30% gain here. Unfortunately, it did sell off, and it really was kind of a pump and dump, as you can see. You know, definitely using Tim Sykes Supernova technique where you're basically taking a chunk out of the move and not trying to hold for 500%. This died. It died all the way back down to here during the day, and then you can see its volume dried up massively, and it's barely trading in these later hours of the day. So that was a total pump and dump. If you zoom out here, I think if we go into 5 minute, you kind of see what I was worried about, like this last one with the same thing. This was during normal hours, but it's pumped and dumped. None of these spikes last very long, so I wasn't very convinced. Like even like this one spiked up, came right back down. This was a long run it had, but it was a while ago. It'd be nice to get some of that, but it has a history of pumping and dumping. And it's not too surprising, it probably was pumped and dumped, given the size of the float. Who knows what shenanigans were going on in the background. But anyway, I thought that was a really cool trade. I'd show you that. Something to think about. The other one that I didn't trade was also really good. It was second on the list here. So on the money bar indicator, KTTA. Big difference in terms of float rotation, but it's a much bigger float compared to this guy. 86,000 is tiny, tiny float. So it's probably why we see the huge float rotation and the big spike and pump and dump on that. And KTTA was pretty interesting. It came up on the scanner, which is the money bar scanner, started to fill up its money bar, came up on my watch list because of that. So looking at KTTA here. So what was quite interesting is we were kind of consolidating pre-market here, but Infinity Algo was saying like it's probably not a good time to enter because we're in a sell trend. It was consolidating, consolidating. The nice thing with this one is it did take off during regular market hours. So this is still the 1 minute chart. So we're 10 minutes into the market open. Infinity Algo fired off a buy signal right here. And so if you'd been kind of on this one, which I wish I was, because it's during regular hours, and it too ran up about 40%, which is nice. Infinity Algo can help you take profit if you need to as well. Needed some sort of guidance on that. And then it too also sold off miserably. Infinity Algo indicating the sell off and pumped. So really, nothing was sustaining the gains today, and we didn't see anything like that 500% from yesterday, which is not too surprising. It's probably more of a regular day with these low float stocks. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. The other thing is people have been asking me about stop losses. That's really up to you, but I keep a 20% stop on these because I know I'm going to get 20 to 100% usually. So if I'm winning most of them, I'll keep like a 20% tight stop on this. That might be about right. I don't know. I'll have to play with it a little bit more. I'm pretty new to this stuff myself. I'm trying to write it all up in this review, and hopefully these videos will help you guys that are buying it. And if you're interested in buying it, it's really cheap. It's only $49 for lifetime, and you can get it right here. I'll also leave a direct link to the order form so you don't have to watch this whole webinar to get it, which annoys people. Anyway, hopefully it's helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon.